back to 20 car. From the moment you set eyes on the 2025 Rivian EDV 700 Unofficial Concept, you realize this isn't just a last-mile delivery vehicle, it's a rolling manifesto proclaiming that utility and artistry can coexist. Imagine a van that looks as if it were sculpted by wind itself, channels the soul of adventure into cramped urban alleys, and yet carries cargo with the efficiency of a Swiss watch. This unofficial concept, reimagined through Rivian's design ethos, marries playful innovation with brutal practicality. Whether you're a logistics executive craving lower operating costs, an urban merchant yearning for a bold brand statement, or simply an automotive enthusiast intrigued by the next wave of EV design, the EDV 700 concept delivers. It's not just a van, it's an attitude, a manifesto that delivery need not be dull. Buckle up and prepare for a journey through lines, curves, tech, and economics, all woven together into a 4,000-word tapestry of discovery. Car appearance. At first glance, the EDV 700 concept is a study in visual tension. The front fascia wears a broad smile, an LED light bar curving upward at the corners like a smirk, boldly declaring that this is not your grandfather's delivery van. Beneath that smile, a gloss black center panel hosts the Rivian R emblem, backlit with a soft cyan glow, an homage to electric propulsion and an emblem that doubles as a charging status indicator. Pulsing slowly when charging and glowing steadily when ready to roll. Moving along the flanks, the character line starts high near the A-pillar, dipping gracefully as it approaches the middle of the doors, then rising again toward the rear. This wave line creates a sense of forward motion even when stationary. A subtle clamshell door seam hides flush-mounted handles that pop out with an electromagnetic click, ensuring no snags on narrow alley walls. Below, a contrasting matte charcoal rocker panel hints at ruggedness, backed by skid plate accents reminiscent of an off-road SUV, seemingly inviting the driver to stray off beaten paths. Unique to this concept are the triangular wheel arches, softly beveled at the corners to break the visual monotony. Each arch houses 18-inch aero-optimized wheels sporting 3 Y-spoke blades that reduce drag while channeling cooling air to the in-wheel electric motors. The rims are finished in a dark titanium hue, offset by neon lime Rivian badges stamped into the center caps, an attention to branding usually reserved for sports cars, not delivery vans. Peeking above, the roof incorporates a translucent polymer canopy that spans front to back. By day, it bathes the cargo bay in natural light. By night, an array of micro-LEDs embedded in the canopy emits a soft ambient glow, transforming the van into a beacon in low-visibility situations. This lighthouse roof serves dual purposes: functional illumination for loading at dawn or dusk, and an unmistakable aesthetic signature on city streets. At the rear, Rivian surprised us with split barn door tailgates that swing wide to 180 degrees. The outer panels feature integrated fold-down work surfaces, complete with retractable magnetic tool rails and USB-C outlets powered by the main battery pack. Above the doors, a continuous LED brake and indicator bar stretches the full width, cleverly integrated into a geometric pattern that echoes the front smile. This symmetry ties the design language together, making the van instantly recognizable from any angle. Perhaps the boldest styling choice is the integrated wraparound graphic. Unlike typical vinyl skins, this concept uses a thermochromic coating that shifts hue based on ambient temperature, shifting from a cool slate gray in colder climates to a warm anthracite in hotter conditions. When idle after a long route, the surface slowly cycles through a spectrum of Rivian green shades, creating a subtle moving canvas that attracts the eye without overwhelming the senses. Wind tunnel testing reportedly shaved 20% off the drag coefficient compared to the current EDV design, thanks in large part to active grille shutters at the front and deployable vortex generators integrated into the roof trailing edge. When higher speeds demand aerodynamic efficiency, these micro-control surfaces extend and subtly alter the airflow over the roof and side panels, dramatically reducing turbulence. This level of airflow mastery is unprecedented in a commercial vehicle class and positions the EDV 700 concept as a design tour de force. Interior specifications. Step inside, and the EDV 700 concept greets you with an atmosphere that blends minimalism with high-tech hospitality. The cabin is anchored by a sculptural dashboard that mimics the exterior's waveline, undulating from left to right, creating natural alcoves for displays and controls. The primary instrument cluster is a 12-inch fully digital screen that integrates speed, battery status, and navigation in a configurable widget layout. Adjacent sits a 15-inch touchscreen infotainment unit angled slightly toward the driver, ensuring ergonomic reach. Beneath the infotainment, a seamlessly backlit haptic panel controls climate, audio volume, and drive modes. The tactile feedback mimics real buttons through precise vibrations, so drivers never have to look away from the road. foregoing vents in favor of ultra-thin microflaps embedded along the dash's lip allows for uniform airflow distribution, reducing hotspots and delivering a more pleasant cabin climate. Materials are part performance, part luxury. The seats, offered in cloth, vegan leather, or a sustainable bio-woven textile made from recycled ocean plastics, are suspended on lightweight aluminum frames. Active ventilation channels, normally reserved for high-end SUVs, run through each cushion and backrest, keeping occupants cool during urban stop-and-go. The center console doubles as a removable cooler box, a boon for field technicians or catering crews needing to keep items chilled mid-route. Storage abounds. The passenger footwell is replaced by a lockable mission bag dock that securely holds a custom Rivian backpack or toolkit. Overhead, a flip-down compartment accommodates documents or a tablet, complete with built-in Qi wireless charging pads. Cup holders slide out from beneath the haptic panel on telescoping rails, accommodating mugs of various diameters. Even the sun visors integrate fold-out LED reading lights, ensuring clarity when inspecting paperwork in dim warehouse environments. Connectivity is next level. The Concept boasts dual SIM 5G automotive-grade modems, a Wi-Fi hotspot capable of supporting up to 8 devices, and a dedicated Rivian cloud service that pushes auto software updates nightly. An optional Logipack subscription unlocks advanced telematics. Predictive maintenance alerts derived from AI analysis of motor and battery performance, route optimization suggestions based on real-time traffic and weather data, and even dynamic range estimates that account for cargo weight measured by integrated floor sensors. Audio is handled by a 12-speaker Meridian surround system, unusual in commercial vans, tuned specifically for speech clarity to ensure voice commands and call communications are razor-sharp. A detachable center-mounted boom mic can be deployed for conference calls, then stowed flush when not in use. For drivers craving a private sanctuary, an ambient mode disables exterior noise intrusion by counteracting road rumble and wind noise through active noise cancellation built into the headliner. Safety and driver assistance are robust. A 360-degree LiDAR unit is concealed behind the translucent roof canopy, feeding data to an AI-driven perception suite capable of pedestrian detection at up to 250 meters, adaptive cruise and lane centering assisting gauge from 0 to 100 kilometers height, making highway merging and traffic jams stress-free. Rivian's unique over-the-shoulder radar modules, embedded in the A-pillars, eliminate blind spots and enable split-second decisions when weaving through city traffic. Competitors. In the burgeoning electric delivery van market, the EDV 700 Concept squares off against heavyweights such as the Ford E-Transit Electric, the Mercedes-Benz E-Sprinter, the Volkswagen ID, Buzz Cargo, and newcomer entrants like the Arrival van. While each brings unique strengths, the Rivian Concept carves a distinct niche. Ford E-Transit Electric. Ford's E-Transit offers solid range and the credibility of the blue oval badge. However, its design is essentially an electric powertrain grafted onto a legacy van platform. The EDV 700 Concept, by contrast, is built from the ground up as an EV, translating into a more optimized battery layout, an ultra-low floor for increased cargo height, and a chassis engineered for electric performance rather than retrofitted. Rivian's active aerodynamics and thermochromic paint also far outpace Ford's static sheet metal aesthetic. Mercedes-Benz E-Sprinter. Mercedes impresses with its attention to luxury in the E-Sprinter's cabin, but it falls short on digital integration and range. The Rivian Concept's dual SIM connectivity, AI-based telematics, and predictive maintenance focus on reducing downtime, a critical advantage for fleet managers. Additionally, Rivian's use of sustainable interior materials positions the EDV 700 Concept as more future-focused compared to Mercedes's more traditional upholstery options. Volkswagen ID. Buzz Cargo. VW's ID, Buzz Cargo scores points for nostalgia and cult appeal. Yet, its retro styling limits aerodynamic efficiency and cargo volume. The EDV 700 Concept adopts a purpose-built silhouette that maximizes interior capacity while minimizing drag. Rivian's in-wheel motors and modular battery packs also allow for easier servicing and potential midlife capacity upgrades, features that VW has not yet announced. Arrival van. Arrival touts a lightweight composite body for reduced energy consumption. While impressive, composite repairs and the company's nascent manufacturing process raise concerns about long-term reliability and parts availability. Rivian, backed by substantial production capacity and a proven supply chain, mitigates those risks. Furthermore, the EDV 700 Concept integrates off-the-shelf components, such as its Meridian audio and Bosch driver assist sensors, ensuring easier serviceability worldwide. Beyond these direct rivals, the concept also overshadows smaller players like the workhorse C1000 and the bright drops Evo 600 by offering a more cohesive package. State-of-the-art interior tech, class-leading aerodynamic refinements, and styling that doesn't sacrifice form for function. In head-to-head comparisons of payload versus range, Rivian's 500 km rated WLTP range with a 120 kWh battery outduels Ford's 350 km and Mercedes's 300 km figures, all while maintaining a comparable 200 kg payload rating. Where competitors often focus on cost per mile metrics, Rivian's EDV 700 concept shifts the conversation toward total value. Reduced route times thanks to optimized aerodynamics, fewer unplanned stops due to AI-driven maintenance alerts, and driver satisfaction gains from a cabin that feels more like a premium EV than a commercial box. The proof point is the optional Route Flex feature, allowing dynamic allocation of battery capacity between driving range and cabin HVAC, ensuring comfortable climates without sacrificing an estimated 10% of operational range. Price. Despite its concept status and premium level features, Rivian deliberately positions the EDV 700 concept competitively. Estimated starting MSRP for fleet orders of 500 units or more is projected at $52,400 before incentives, placing it between the Ford E-Transit Electric, starting at $49,995, and the Mercedes E-Sprinter. Rivian's modular battery options, 75, 100, or 120 kWh, allow purchasers to tailor price to range requirements, with each kWh adding roughly $350 to the base price. Thus, 75 kWh model, $52,400. 100 kWh model, $62,900. 120 kWh model, $69,900. Volume discounts, fleet leasing deals, and anticipated commercial EV tax credits further reduce the effective purchase price. Rivian also offers a subscription-based tech pack for $39 per month per vehicle, bundling advanced telematics, over-the-air upgrades, and priority service scheduling. Over a typical 5-year lease, this equates to $2,340 per vehicle, an investment many fleet managers consider trivial for the operational insights and uptime improvements it delivers. Optional accessories such as the rooftop solar charging module at roughly $3,200, providing up to 5 kilometers of range per hour in full sun. The remote pop-up retail conversion package, comprising fold-out display counters, retractable awnings, and water-resistant flooring, retails for approximately $8,750. Unlocking use cases from mobile coffee shops to event merch stands. Global pricing in Europe and Asia will reflect regional taxation and conversion costs, with pre-order pricing starting around €49,000 in Germany and 6,200,000 yen in Japan. Early adopter programs in key logistics hubs, such as New York City and London, offer additional incentives through local sustainability grants and curbside access benefits, effectively lowering total out-of-pocket expenses for qualifying fleets. Ownership costs. Total cost of ownership for the EDV 700 concept is where Rivian's strategic design really shines. Let's break down key factors over a typical 5-year, 150,000 kilometers usage cycle. Depreciation. Based on Rivian's current residual values, the EDV 700 concept is expected to retain roughly 65% of its original value after 5 years. For a $62,900 mid-range model, that equates to a depreciation cost of about $22,015, or roughly $4,403 per year. Energy costs. Assuming an average consumption of 20 kWh 100 km and an electricity rate of $0. 15 kWh, annual energy costs for 30,000 kilometers average $900. For a 5-year span, total energy expenses approximate $4,500. Maintenance and service. EVs benefit from fewer moving parts. Scheduled maintenance, brake fluid, cabin air filter, and tire rotations, averages $200 per year. Rivian's extended warranty and complimentary service for the first 3 years cover major components. After warranty, expect $1,000 per year for standard service and consumables, totaling $5,000 over 5 years. Insurance. Commercial van insurance premiums vary, but Rivian's robust safety suite may lower costs by up to 10% compared to ICE counterparts. Estimate $1,500 annually, totaling $7,500 over 5 years. Charging infrastructure. Installation of a level 2 charger at depot or home base runs approximately $2,000. If fleets opt for DC fast charging stations, infrastructure costs rise to $15,000, $20,000 per station, often shared across multiple vehicles. For DCO, amortize a $10,000 investment over 5 years, $2,000 per year. Software subscription. At $39 a month, 5 years of service total $2,340. Tire replacement. High-load SUVs require robust tires. Expect 2 replacements over 5 years at $1,200 per set, summing $2,400. Unexpected repairs. Thanks to AI-driven predictive alerts, unscheduled downtime is minimized. Allocate a contingency budget of $1,000 annually, totaling $5,000. Aggregating these elements yields cost component 5-year total. Depreciation $22,015. Energy $4,500. Maintenance and service $5,000. Insurance $7,500. Charging infrastructure $10,000. Software subscription $2,340. Tires $2,400. Unexpected repairs $5,000. Total ownership cost $58,755. Dividing by 150,000 kilometers yields an all-in cost of 39 cents per kilometer. A figure competitive with or lower than many ICE and electric commercial vans once you factor in volume purchase discounts and local incentives. Beyond raw numbers, the EDV 700 concept's real value lies in uptime, driver satisfaction, and brand perception. Reduced downtime ensures deliveries keep rolling, while drivers appreciate the near-luxury interior. The van's striking appearance becomes a mobile billboard, transforming each route into a marketing opportunity. In a marketplace increasingly driven by total lifecycle value rather than sticker price alone, the Rivian EDV 700 Unofficial Concept stakes its claim as the ultimate last-mile partner. It proves that commercial vehicles can be visionary, efficient, and evocative, inviting fleet managers, entrepreneurs, and automotive aficionados alike to rethink what a delivery van can be. Embarking upon a journey into tomorrow's roads, the 2025 Rivian EDV 700 Unofficial Concept redefines what we expect from an electric delivery vehicle. And, surprisingly, from a lifestyle vehicle too. Far more than a boxy van with batteries, this visionary concept blends athletic stance, tactile luxury, and futuristic technology into a package that feels both radically new and comfortingly familiar. In the paragraphs that follow, you'll discover an immersive, first-person account of piloting this agile behemoth, balanced assessments of its strengths and limitations, and deep dives into the engineering marvels beneath its sculpted bodywork. Whether you're a seasoned EV aficionado, a delivery fleet decision-maker, or simply someone who dreams of electric highways, this review is your backstage pass to the riveting world of the Rivian EDV 700. Driving experience. Sliding into the Rivian EDV 700's driver's seat feels less like settling into a commercial vehicle and more like strapping into a spaceship's command module. The high-resolution digital instrument pod wraps around your sightline, its OLED panels glowing softly with minimalist graphics. From the very first press of the ready button, the cabin hums with latent energy, and the world beyond the panoramic windshield seems to pause, eager to see where you'll go next. Acceleration and responsiveness. Despite its utilitarian roots, the EDV 700 brandishes surprises in motion. Twin electric motors, one per axle, conjure an immediate surge of torque that sends you forward with the same enthusiasm of a sports sedan. Transitioning from standstill to 30 km height feels effortlessly smooth, the linear torque curve making city slaloms and tight alley maneuvers surprisingly playful for a 30-foot van. Switching to sport drive mode sharpens throttle response, the accelerator pedal becomes more communicative, and the regenerative braking intensifies into a one-pedal driving experience. Accelerating up to highway speeds feels eerily silent, save for the soft whir of electric propulsion, a futuristic soundtrack that emphasizes the EDV 700's avant-garde nature, steering and handling. Critics of electric vans often bemoan vague steering and unwieldy turning radii. Rivian shatters these expectations. A custom-tuned, variable ratio electric power steering system offers crisp turn-in and predictable weighting, adapting based on speed and steering input. Around urban corners, the EDV feels lighter than its mass suggests. Body roll is held in check by adaptive air suspension, which lowers at speed and raises over rough surfaces. At higher velocities, the chassis stiffens, providing confidence-inspiring feedback. Merging onto highways, the van's planted stance allows you to carry momentum through sweeping curves, a testament to Rivian's commitment to performance even in a commercial workhorse. Comfort and ergonomics. Long shifts behind the wheel are no longer a chore. The driver's seat, upholstered in premium vegan leather, features 12-way power adjustments and active cooling and heating elements. Lumbar support automatically adapts to your posture, and memory settings recall your favorite position at the touch of a button. Rivian's acoustic package, a combination of triple-layered glass and strategic sound-damping panels, mutes road and wind noise, creating a serene cocoon. After the cabin, the cargo area is equally refined. Modular shelving, integrated lighting, and configurable tie-down tracks make loading and unloading intuitive. The Concept's flex floor can be raised or lowered by remote command, allowing goods to be delivered at a comfortable height without bending or stretching.